Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into some fascinating coins from the United States Mint, the 1971 half dollar, 1974 half dollar, 1980D half dollar, and the 1997p half dollar. These coins are not only pieces of American history, but also treasures for collectors. So stay with me until the very end, because I'll share their full history. Design details, mintage numbers, errors, and collector values. Trust me, you don't. I want to miss a single part of this journey, so get it started.
The 1971 half dollar is part of the Kennedy half dollar series, first introduced in 1964. After the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963, the U.S. Mint decided to honor him on a coin. Within just a few months, the design was approved and struck. From 1964 to 1970, these coins contained 40% silver. But in 1971, a huge change happened. The United States Mint completely removed silver from the half dollar for circulation coins. This was the first year the half dollar was made only from a copper-nickel clad composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. So, the 1971 half dollar is historically important because it marks the official end of silver in circulating half dollars. A left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. You'll see the word liberty surrounding his head, "In God We Trust" beneath, and the date 1971 at the bottom. Designed by Frank Gasparo, it shows the presidential seal, an eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, with a circle of stars around it. At the top, United States of America, and at the bottom, half dollar. This bold design symbolizes strength, leadership, and honor for the late president. The 1971 half dollar was struck at 3 different mints. 1971 No Mint Mark, Philadelphia Mint. These coins have no mint mark under Kennedy's neck. 1971 D Denver Mint. These have a small D mint mark under Kennedy's neck. 1971 S San Francisco Mint. These are proof coins, made especially for collectors, with a shiny mirror-like finish. Now here's something important. Although 1971 half dollars were not supposed to contain silver, a few rare 1971 D half dollars were accidentally struck on leftover 40% silver planchets from 1970. These error coins are extremely rare and can sell for thousands of dollars at auction. So if you have a 1971 D coin, it's worth checking its weight. Silver ones weigh about 11.5 grams, while the normal clad coins weigh 11.34 grams. Collectors love the 1971 half dollar because of its varieties and mint errors. Some examples include off-center strikes where part of the design is missing. Double dies where letters or numbers appear doubled. Clipped planchets where a small curved piece is missing. Wrong planchet errors as mentioned, some struck on silver planchets. These unusual errors can transform an ordinary 50-cent coin into something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's talk numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 155 million 1971 half dollars. The Denver Mint struck about 302 million coins. And the San Francisco Mint made around 3 million proof coins. That makes the 1971 half dollar one of the most common half dollars ever made. But here's the twist: despite such high mintage, these coins almost disappeared from circulation. Why? Because most people were no longer using half dollars in everyday life. Many went straight into storage or collector jars. So, what is the 1971 half dollar worth today? Circulated condition, usually just 50 cents its face value. Uncirculated mint state can bring $3 to $10 depending on quality. High grades MS 65 and above some sell for $50 to $150. Proof coins 1971 S depending on condition, usually $5 to $20. Rare silver error 1971 D on silver planchet. These are the real treasures selling from $5,000 to $20,000 plus at major auctions. So always check your 1971 half dollars carefully, you never know what you might have. The 1974 half dollar is part of the Kennedy half dollar series, which began in 1964 after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. By 1974, the coin had already gone through some big changes. In 1964, it was struck in 90% silver. From 1965 to 1970, it was made with 40% silver. But starting in 1971, silver was completely removed from circulating half dollars. That means the 1974 half dollar is struck in copper nickel clad, with an inner core of pure copper and outer layers of copper and nickel. This composition is still used today, even though millions were minted in 1974. People rarely saw them in circulation. Half dollars were not popular for everyday use, so most ended up in coin collections, bank storage, or proof sets. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, it shows a left-facing portrait of John F. Kennedy. Around the rim is the word Liberty. Below the chin is "In God We Trust." And the date 1974 appears at the bottom. Designed by Frank Gasparo, it displays the presidential seal. An eagle spreads its wings, holding arrows in one talon, and an olive branch in the other. Around the eagle are stars, with United States of America at the top and half dollar at the bottom. This patriotic design was very popular and continues to honor Kennedy's legacy. The 1974 half dollar was struck at 3 different mints. 1974 No mint mark Philadelphia Mint. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark under Kennedy's neck. 1974 AD Denver Mint. These carry a small AD mint mark beneath Kennedy's neck. 1974 AS San Francisco Mint. These were made as proof coins for collectors, with sharp detail and mirror-like surfaces. But the most famous variety is the 1974 AD Double Die Obverse, DDO. In this variety, the doubling is clearly visible on the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and the date 1974. This error is highly collectible and can be worth much more than regular coins. Collectors love the 1974 half dollar for its error coins. Some of the most desirable include 1974 AD Double Die Obverse, the most famous and valuable error. Parts of the design are missing. Clipped planchets where the coin has a curved cut. Die breaks and cracks producing extra lines or raised areas on the coin. These rare errors can sell for anywhere from $50 to several $1,000, depending on rarity and condition. Let's look at the production numbers for 1974. Philadelphia about 201 million coins. Denver about 79 million coins. San Francisco about 2.6 million proof coins. This makes the 1974 one of the highest mintage years for Kennedy half dollars. While common in circulated condition, mint state coins and errors are the real treasures. So what is the 1974 half dollar worth today? Circulated condition, most are worth only 50 cents just face value. Uncirculated coins MS 62 around $2 to $5. High-grade MS 65 plus can reach $30 to $100 depending on strike quality. Proof coins 1974 is usually $4 to $20. But special cameo or deep cameo examples can be higher. 1974 AD double die obverse the real jackpot. Depending on grade, these can range from $100 to over $1,000 at auctions. So if you have a 1974 AD half dollar, always check carefully for doubling. By 1974, the Kennedy half dollar had lost its role in everyday spending. After silver was removed in 1971, many people felt the coin was less valuable. Instead of using it in circulation, banks, collectors, and the U.S. Mint stored huge amounts of half dollars. That's why finding a 1974 half dollar in your pocket change today is very unusual. Most of them were never released for daily transactions. The most important variety of this year is the 1974 AD doubled die obverse. The doubling is very clear on the words "In God We Trust" and on the date 1974. This variety is officially recognized by grading companies like PCGS and NGC. Regular examples can sell for a few $100s, but high-grade examples have sold in auctions for $1,500 to $3,000 or more. This error makes the 1974 half dollar one of the most exciting finds for collectors. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins in 1974 for collectors. These coins were not meant for circulation. A small number of them are deep cameo proofs, which means they have very sharp contrast between the frosted design and the mirror-like background. Deep cameo proofs can bring 2 to 3 times the value of regular proofs. The year 1974 also marks a transition in the popularity of the half dollar. Even though the Kennedy design remained unchanged, the demand for half dollars in circulation dropped drastically. After this, the half dollar was struck mainly for collectors and not for everyday use. Condition and grading importance. Like all coins, the value of a 1974 half dollar depends heavily on its condition. Circulated coins are very common, but uncirculated coins in MS 65 or higher grades are much scarcer and can be worth a lot more. For 1974 AS proofs, coins with strong cameo or deep cameo contrast are far more desirable than regular proofs. This shows why grading is so important in coin collecting. The 1974 half dollar is considered a set-building coin. Collectors who build full sets of Kennedy half dollars must include the 1974, which adds to its importance. If a collector owns both the 1974 AD double die obverse and a 1974 AS deep cameo proof, their set becomes much more valuable and respected among Numismatists next quarter $1,980 The 1980 D quarter belongs to the Washington Quarter Series, which began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. From 1932 to 1964, quarters were struck in 90% silver. From 1965 onwards, silver was removed from circulation coins due to rising silver prices. Instead, the mint used a copper-nickel-clad composition, the same metal used in the 1980 D quarter. By 1980, the Washington quarter had already become a familiar coin in circulation. It wasn't rare at the time, but today, collectors look for certain high-grade examples and errors that make this year special. The 1980 D Washington quarter carries the classic design, a portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The word liberty appears above his head. The motto "In God We Trust" is placed to the left. The year 1980 is at the bottom. The small mint mark D appears to the right of Washington's ponytail. Shows a bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows, and an olive branch. At the top is United States of America. Below that is the national motto E pluribus unum. At the bottom, quarter dollar. This bold design lasted until 1998, when the 50-state quarters program replaced it. In 1980, quarters were produced at two major mints. 1980 No Mint Mark Philadelphia Mint. 1980 D Denver Mint. The coin we are discussing today is the 1980 D quarter. The Denver Mint struck over 518 million quarters that year. That's more than half a billion coins, making it a very high mintage year. Because so many were made, most 1980 D quarters in circulation today are only worth face value but uncirculated examples, and certain errors are highly collectible. Error coins are where things get exciting. Collectors love to hunt for rare mistakes. And the 1980 D quarter has several interesting ones. Coins struck away from the center, leaving part of the design missing. Clipped planchets, coins with a curved or straight cut from the blanking process. Double dies doubling on letters or numbers, though rare for this year. Struck through errors, objects like grease or debris left marks on the coin during minting. These errors can turn a regular coin into something worth $50 to several $100s. Let's quickly review the technical details of the 1980 D quarter. Composition: copper-nickel clad 91.67%. Copper 8.33%, nickel. Weight 5.67 grams. Diameter 24.3 millimeters. Edge reeded 119 reeds. These details help collectors identify authentic coins and distinguish them from earlier silver issues. Now, the most important question is, how much is the 1980 D Washington quarter worth? Circulated condition usually worth only 25 cents. Uncirculated condition MS 62. Around $1 to $3. High mint state and above can bring $15 to $50. Superb gems, these are very rare and can sell for $500 to over $1,000 at major auctions. Error coins, depending on the type, they can range from $50 to several $100. So while most 1980D quarters are common, the highest grades and errors can be very valuable. Last quarter $1,997 p. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. From 1932 to 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver. From 1965 onward, they were struck in copper-nickel clad due to the rising price of silver. The 1997 p quarter belongs to this clad era. What makes 1997 special is that it was the last full year before the United States Mint began the 50-state quarters program in 1999. That program completely changed coin collecting by featuring each U.S. state on the reverse. So, the 1997 quarter is considered part of the last generation of the original eagle reverse design, which had been used for more than 65 years. The coin carries the classic design created by John Flanagan, a portrait of George Washington facing left, the word liberty above his head, the motto "In God We Trust" on the left side, the year 1997 at the bottom, the small letter P under Washington's ponytail, showing it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. A bald eagle with spread wings, standing on a bundle of arrows, with 2 olive branches beneath. At the top, United States of America. Below that, E pluribus unum. At the bottom, $quarter. This bold eagle design represents American strength and unity, and 1997 was one of the last years it was ever used. In 1997, the quarter was minted at 2 main facilities. 1997 p Philadelphia Mint minted over 595 million coins. 1997 D Denver Mint minted over 599 million coins. Together, that's nearly 1.2 billion quarters produced in a single year. The Philadelphia coins carry the P Mint mark, while Denver coins carry the D Mint mark. Because of these massive numbers, most 1,997 quarters are still very common. But condition, rarity, and errors are what make them collectible. Even though the 1997 p quarter is modern, collectors have discovered many errors and varieties that can make it valuable. Off-center strikes, part of the design is missing or shifted. Clipped planchets, coins with a curved cut or straight clip. Double dies, letters or numbers showing doubling, especially on Liberty or the date. Struck through errors, grease, debris, or other objects left marks during minting. Broad strikes, coins struck without the protective collar, making them appear wider. Depending on type and condition, these errors can sell anywhere from $50 to several $100s. Here are the technical details of the 1997 p Washington quarter. Composition: copper-nickel clad 91.67%. Copper 8.33%, nickel. Weight 5.67 grams. Diameter 24.3 millimeters. Edge reeded with 119 reeds. These details make it easy to separate clad quarters from older silver ones. Now, let's talk about how much the 1997 P quarter is worth today. Circulated condition worth only 25 cents, its face value. Uncirculated mint state 60 to 63 around $1 to $2. High mint state can reach $10 to $25. Superb gems extremely rare selling for $500 to over $1,000 at auction. Error coins, values vary widely, usually $50 to $500 plus, depending on the mistake and condition. So, while most 1997 P quarters are common pocket change, the rarest high-grade and error examples are highly collectible. So, there you have it, the 1971, 1974, 1980 D, and 1997 P half dollars. Each of these coins tells a different story about the evolution of U.S. coinage. From the end of silver in 1971 to the famous doubled die in 1974 to the modern collector-focused coins of 1997. They are all fascinating pieces of history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting guides. And tell me in the comments which one of these half dollars do you have in your collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.